I'm going to ask you about Ireland's hate speech legislation, which will be passed into law, and it's the most draconian hate speech legislation the Western world has probably ever seen, or at least for a long time anyway. There's extremely harsh penalties for this. If this gets passed into law, which it will, do you think it will give other member states an excuse to implement such legislation?
First of all, it's important to understand historically all the tyrannies, the way they were implemented in the past 150 years all across Europe, they were implemented firstly by killing the freedom of speech. Because through words, you can bound people or you can free people. So the way to do it, I mean, imagine from the power that a government has to control the whole society, if nobody's speaking up the truth, people will not be able to know, what is happening behind the scenes. The role of the media, the role of the press, is to watch the government, and protect the people. What we've seen happening during the pandemic is the other way around. The media was lashing at people for raising questions and trying to defend the government. This is unseen. This is unseen in the history of our democratic world for the past 150 years, 200 years. So I checked a little bit about this bill that is proposed to be passed in Ireland. It is deeply troubling. And I'm calling on all the journalists and all the people who are really believing in democracy and freedom, to oppose this. Because here's the problem: when the government says you're allowed to say this and you're not allowed to say that, and if you say it, then you will be punished. This is not democracy anymore, and it's not freedom anymore. Historically, all the inventions, all the discoveries, all the scientific discoveries, they were discovered because one guy had the guts, the power, the courage to challenge the mainstream speech discourse, right? Imagine that for how many centuries, people believe that the earth is flat. And one guy came and said, no, based on my findings, it's not flat, right? Yes, the guy was persecuted, but later on they realized, yeah, he was right. But do we have to wait another 50 or 100 years, for our future generations maybe, to look back at us and say, yeah, we were right? We have to fight this fight now. And it's our, I would say, it's our movement. And in our moment now to fight for freedom and for liberty. And this starts even with freedom of speech. And I'm looking forward to work with others from Ireland, even to raise whatever we have at our disposal in the European Parliament, even challenging the European Commission maybe to take a stand. If you have people in your country, they could petition the Petty Committee, and this could be elevated in the Petty Committee. We could have press conferences. There are many ways to do it, just to raise awareness about this problem, because it is not okay and it's not democratic for a government to punish you for speaking your mind and your belief. I mean, what's the difference between a law like this and whatever happened during communism in Eastern Europe, or whatever happens right now in North Korea? I mean, what is your model?
You don't even have to speak any hate at all. Hate, as they call it. It just has to be on your device, and they can enter your home without a warrant and seize your device.
Yes, because this is the moment where they disregard your right of property, that the government cannot search and seize your property. I mean, you see how slowly we see under our own eyes the Chinification of Europe. The same thing is happening in China right now, or in North Korea. So we have to keep the fight on, and fighting for freedom, fighting for liberty is the fight of every generation, and we should be the generation to lead this fight right now.